A very good evening to one and all present. If we may request everybody to be seated so that we can start the program. Vanakkam Chennai. Eppadi irukkinge ellarum? How's everybody doing in Chennai? Good? I think Anurag ji needs a little bit of more energy than that. Good? Wonderful. So very good evening to one and all. Welcome to the VIKSIT Bharat Ambassador Chennai meetup. It is our good fortune to be seeing all of you this evening. And bigger than that is our good fortune to have with us our chief guest, Shri Anurag Singh Thakur, the Union Minister for Information and Broadcasting, Youth Affairs and Sports. Thank you very much, sir, for taking out time from your busy schedule and joining us here this evening. 140 crore dreams, one purpose, VIKSIT Bharat. The VIKSIT Bharat Ambassador Program is in furtherance of the clarion call given by the Honorable Prime Minister to one and all to become VIKSIT Bharat Ambassadors. Before we move any further, may I invite the driving force behind today's program, Shri Vinod ji, to come onto the stage and give the welcome address. He is a pro-efficient State Secretary of the Tamil Nadu BJP and also the BJP candidate from Central Chennai Lok Sabha constituency for this upcoming election. Vinod ji, if we could please have you on stage for the welcome address. Is Vinod ji here? Okay, so until Vinod ji gets here, if I could request Shri Hitesh Jain, a senior lawyer and part of the core team of the VIKSIT Bharat Ambassador Program, to tell us a little bit more about what is this program and how can we contribute as VIKSIT Bharat Ambassadors. Sir, if you could please join us on stage.
Good evening, everyone. It gives me great pleasure to welcome amongst us Shri Anurag Singh Thakur ji, Honorable Union Minister and Senior Bharatiya Janata Party leader amongst us. I also welcome distinguished guests and people who have come from Chennai today for the VIKSIT Bharat Ambassador Program. Anurag ji will definitely comment about the journey of VIKSIT Bharat and the development that has taken in the last 10 years. But I'm going to speak to you something very specific about VIKSIT Bharat Ambassador Program. When we are talking about VIKSIT Bharat and when the Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji has set a goal for India to be VIKSIT by 2047 and India to be developed completely by 2047, the idea is that are we going to achieve the development or developed India on its own without the contribution of the citizen, or we are going to participate in this program? My dear friends, I've come here to request you to be the part of the largest Jan Bhagidari campaign which will propel India and be a partner in the development process and the development journey of this India. And we should equally play a role when we speak about VIKSIT Bharat and the goal to be achieved by 2047. I am come here to request for, make a small request. We are running this program through the program that will be run on the Narendra Modi app. I will request each one of you to download the app and on the app register yourself as a VIKSIT Bharat Ambassador. On the app, we are also sharing the positive development stories of India. And it is very important when rumors are spread, facts are not spoken about accurately, and people are giving different versions of truth. The real picture of development and the details are found in the app. I'm sure all this positive information will be helpful. And if you will share the same with your friends, neighborhood, family member, you will educate, create awareness regarding the program of VIKSIT Bharat and the development journey of India. It will encourage people to be a part of this program and also spread the positivity of the good work that is being done by the government that led by Honorable Shri Narendra Modi ji. Second request is, when we speak about VIKSIT Bharat Ambassador, A Viksit Bharat ambassador will always lead by participation, example. When we speak, for example, I'll just give you two examples. Like when we speak about Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, now giving a slogan of Swachh Bharat is one thing, but if we can participate in that Swachh Bharat program, and when we can participate by example, that will then we will become the Viksit Bharat ambassador in a true sense. Second thing, as you are aware, when the Honorable Prime Minister had come to Mahabalipuram, or when he went to Lakshadweep, or when he went to Kaziranga National Park in Assam, he was the brand ambassador of those tourist spots. For example, I don't know whether many of you are aware, but Prime Minister spends a complete 1 hour in the morning on the beach of the Mahabalipuram. He was cleaning up, and the whole country and the whole world saw those images about Prime Minister on the beaches of the Mahabalipuram. And that is where, like, people in Bombay, Pune, everybody was asking again, yes, Mahabalipuram is very popular, but when people are promoting it, when you are being an ambassador, everyone is encouraged to come. Recently, when the Ram Mandir was inaugurated, you would have seen Honorable Prime Minister visited all the temples, all the important temples like Madurai, Trichy, Rameshwaram, everywhere. That has also created an excitement. So when we are brand ambassador, when we lead by example, when we visit these different temples, when we visit these tourist spots, and when we put on the social media, when we spread the positivity of those places, then we become the true Viksit Bharat ambassador. So friends, simple point that let's be a part of the program where we will be also equal participation. This is a Jan Bhagidari ka program hai. This is a program where you, me, everyone will join hands together and we will be a Viksit Bharat ambassador. India needs us. India needs you. Please join the Viksit Bharat ambassador program. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. If I could now invite Vinodji on stage to please deliver the welcome address.
அனைவருக்கும் இனிய மாலை வணக்கத்தை தெரிவித்துக் கொண்டு நம்மிடையே இன்று சிறப்புரையாற்ற வருகை தந்துள்ள மரியாதைக்குரிய விளையாட்டுத்துறை மற்றும் இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் அண்ட் பிராட்காஸ்டிங்கான அமைச்சர், அவர் காரை விட்டு இறங்கி இந்த கட்சி சம்பந்தமான வேலைகளுக்கெல்லாம் நடந்து போகும்பொழுது நம்ம விட, குறிப்பாக என்னை விட அவருக்கு வயது அதிகமாக இருந்தாலும் கூட அவர் ஸ்பீடுக்கு நம்மளால் மேட்ச் பண்ண முடியாது. சுறுசுறுப்புக்கு நரேந்திர மோடி அவர்கள் எப்படி ஒரு எடுத்துக்காட்டோ அதே போல் திரு அனுராக் தாக்கூர் அவர்களும் ஒரு மிக சிறந்த உதாரணமாக, எடுத்துக்காட்டாக நமக்கு பெருமை சேர்க்கும் விதமாக இன்று நம்மிடையே வருகை தந்துள்ளார்கள். நரேந்திர மோடி அவர்களின் நலத்திட்டங்கள், அதாவது இந்த 2024 தேர்தல் என்பது இந்திய திருநாட்டின் தலையெழுத்தை நிர்ணயம் செய்ய போகின்ற தேர்தல். 10 ஆண்டுகள் மிக சிறப்பாக நேர்மையான, நேர்த்தியான ஆட்சி நடைபெற்றுக் கொண்டு வருகிறது. இந்த ஆட்சி இன்னும் 10 ஆண்டுகள் தொடரும் பொழுதுதான் இந்தியா நாம் கண்ட கனவான உலகத்தின் விஸ்வகுருவாக மாறுவதற்கு அனைத்து விஷயங்களும் செய்ய முடியும். அதற்கு மீண்டும் நமக்கு நரேந்திர மோடி அவர்களின் நல்லாட்சி தேவை. தமிழகத்திலும் நரேந்திர மோடி அவர்களின் நல்லாட்சி தேவை. இதற்கு நாம் அனைவரும் ஒன்றிணைந்து அயராது பாடுபட வேண்டும். இன்று நம்மிடையே இந்த மோடி கேரண்டி என்று சொல்லக்கூடிய நன்மைகள் 10 ஆண்டுகளாக இந்திய மக்களுக்கும் குறிப்பாக தமிழக மக்களுக்கும் கிடைத்த அனைத்து விஷயங்களையும் எடுத்துரைத்து விரிவாக பேசி நம் பாரதம் தலை நிமிர்ந்து உலகத்தின் சிறந்த நாடாக மாறுவதற்கு காரணமாக இருக்கக்கூடிய நரேந்திர மோடி அவர்களுக்கு நன்றி தெரிவித்து, அதே சமயம் நம்மிடையே இங்கே உரையாற்ற வருகை தந்துள்ள திரு அனுராக் தாக்கூர் அவர்களை நம் அனைவரின் சார்பாக, தமிழகத்தின் சார்பாக வருக வருக என்று அன்போடு வரவேற்கிறேன். நன்றி, வணக்கம், ஜெய்ஹிந்த்.
Now, for the moment that all of you have been waiting for, if I may invite our chief guest, Shri Anurag Singh Thakur ji, to address the gathering and deliver the keynote address.
Vanakkam, Chennai. Whenever I have been to Tamil Nadu, especially Chennai, I always got the positive vibes, whether it is from the time of cricket to the time of politics, or now coming for a program called VIKSIT Bharat, a journey towards making India a developed country by 2047. Prime Minister Modi talks very high about Tamil Nadu. It's very close to his heart. He talks about the rich culture, heritage and language of Tamil Nadu. He talks about the great poet and philosopher Thiruvalluvar. He talks about the connection between Kashi and Tamil people and started the program called Kashi Tamil Sangamam and Saurashtra Tamil Sangamam. Whenever there is an opportunity to host big events, he pick up Tamil Nadu for G20. He give the opportunity to host the 44th Chess Olympiad, which is happened to be hosted first time ever by India, and he gave the opportunity to Tamil Nadu. When the time came for Khelo India Youth Games, he picked up Tamil Nadu for that. That is how close Tamil Nadu is to Prime Minister Modi. And I could see before the Pran Pratishtha Samaro at the Ram Temple, he visited many places in the country, but for him, when he spent those 2 days, when he came here for the inaugural of the Khelo India Youth Games, he spent next day at Rameshwaram and visited those temples. He could connect. And I think we could see the response, his love towards the people of Tamil Nadu, and people of Tamil Nadu giving the love back much more and many times more than what we expected. I could see Prime Minister visit in the South India for the last 3-4 days. In the last 10 years, I think the kind of response what we have got in this area is huge. So let me first thank all of you for being part of this VIKSIT Bharat program. My dear friends, this is a significant journey towards VIKSIT Bharat, and let me talk about this. Why I'm talking about this? Because 10 years back, if you look, there were only bad news about India, about corruption, about mismanagement, policy paralysis and all that. But from where to where we have moved? From space to sports, from science to startups, it is India's decade. And it is not me as a central minister saying it, but the world is saying it today. If anyone is progressing in the world, if there is a bright spot in the world, in the global economy today, it is our Bharat, it is India. And if you could look at the previous slide. Sorry. Asian Games. We never won more than 60 medals, but this time we have scored a century in Asian Games, 107 medals. And Para-Asian Games, 111 medals more than the able athletes. And look at the Chandrayaan mission. The space sector was confined to ISRO only, but the Prime Minister Modi opened up to others. I'll talk about that later during my presentation. No other country could achieve it, but India did it by landing our rover at the south pole of the Chandrayaan on the moon, making the Chandrayaan mission so successful. India became the first country. Only Japan could do it later, and then US. Look at this modern facility of vaccine. Then again, the startup ecosystem. Let me go to the next slide. You know, in 2013, we had this fragile 5 economies. We were among the fragile 5 economies. Then the opportunity came in 2014 when people voted for Prime Minister Modi and the Bharatiya Janata Party. We gave a commitment that we're going to give a good governance model, a development model. We're going to bring in more transparency and accountability into the system. And I'm glad to say we have delivered in the last 10 years. Nobody could raise even finger towards Prime Minister Modi on the issue of corruption. A clean government has been given by Prime Minister Modi. And from the fragile 5 to the top 5, we are among the bright spot in the world global chart. India's growth in the economy, that I'm going to talk next. If you look at this stagnant economy in 2004 to 14, when Atalji government was thrown out of power, Manmohan Singh ji came, UPA came. We were at that time also the 10th and 11th largest economy of the world. We remained at that position for good 10 years, despite being an economist leading the country for 10 years. But he was controlled by remote control. But what led to a change? I'll come to that, but before that I have to highlight, because 10 years is a long period, people forget. What was the country situation 10 years back? India was among those, Brazil, South Africa, Turkey and Indonesia, among those fragile 5 economies. And the situation was mainly because of high inflation rate, high depreciation of currency, high current account deficit, high inflation, high foreign debt. And the reason for that was the misgovernance, policy paralysis, scams, lack of political will, economic failures, and outcome was export came down, FDI decreased, rating decreased. But if you look at the next chart here, from fragile 5 to top 5, look at this chart. GDP growth has gone up from 4.5% to 8.4% today, highest in the world. But at the same time, when globally inflation is higher, India's inflation has come down from 12.1% to 6.7%. And our FDI has increased from $36 billion to $85 billion. And exports have gone more than 2 times, from 300 billion to 770 billion US dollars. And also the forex reserves, which reduced during the UPA time, it has gone up to highest ever 600 billion US dollars. And if you look at the current account deficit, it has come down from 5.1% to 2.1%. And environmental clearance, which used to take a lot of time, about 640 days, approximately 2 years' time, has come down to 103 days. So that is how the country has progressed. If you look at this, this is a very, very interesting. Largest economy, where we were in 1980 to 2050, this is the chart being given. How we have gone up. Kindly look at this. So you could visualize where we're going to be after 3 years. Modi will be there for the 3rd term, and in next 3 years, we're going to be the 3rd largest economy of the world. How we did it? We always talked about reform, perform, transform, and inform. And I'm here to inform you also what steps we have taken from welfare to the last mile. I'm going to touch all these points here. If you look at the banking system, 430 million people were out of the banking system. They were unbanked. We did it in 2 years, which Congress could not do in 60 years. We opened 43 crore bank accounts in just 2 years span. And not only that, when Congress said, what will happen to the zero frill accounts? It won't sustain. Let me tell you today, these 43 crore accounts have 2,10,000 crore rupees deposit in that. 2,10,000 crore rupees deposit. And the advantage of that bank account is we started the Mudra Yojana, Prime Minister Modi, and close to 34 crore people have got the Mudra loans worth 27 lakh crore rupees. And 65% beneficiaries are women of this country. They are the biggest beneficiaries. You remember Rajiv Gandhi came with 400 seats mandate. And after 3-4 years, he said, I send 100 rupees from center, only 15 rupees reaches the last man, to the beneficiary. Because they didn't have bank accounts, they didn't have the transparent system, they don't have the accountability of the system, and there were pilferages at that time. But Prime Minister Modi used the technology, used the DBT system, opened the bank accounts, opened the Jan Dhan, Aadhaar and mobile, and we send 100 rupees and 100 rupees reaches the beneficiary's account. That is how we do it. And we have taken a lot of steps towards the farmer. From the seed to the supermarket, we have ensured the support to the farmer. One nation, one market for the agriculture produce. E-National Agriculture Marketplace, that is what we have created. Also the Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana. We have given the insurance for the crops as well. And also the Suraksha Bima Yojana for the poorest of the poor has been given the insurance cover. It never happened before 2014. Today, almost every Indian is secured under the Pradhan Mantri Suraksha Bima Yojana. By spending just few rupees, you can get 2 lakh rupees cover. Your crop is insured, yourself is insured, your other businesses are also insured. And at the same time, we have spent a lot of money and energy on the skilling part. If you look at the impact, earlier if you look at, most of the people were living the subsistence lifestyle. They have now moved up the ladder with the renewed aspiration and their dream turning into reality. How it turned, how did it happen? We have given 4 crore new houses to the poorest of the poor. We have made 4 crore houses. We have built 12 crore toilets. We have given tap connection and water through those taps to the 13 crore houses. We have given 10 crore LPG Ujjwala cylinder and the stove to those women who never had this. Their life has become much easier. They're living with dignity and there is ease of living today. That means our government has worked day and night to ensure all these people get the basic minimum facility, and that is how it has helped to bring 25 crore people out of the multi-dimensional poverty line, which Congress couldn't achieve in 70 years. Modi did it in 10 years itself. That means if more people are coming out of poverty, their spending power increases. That creates more demand. If there is more demand, there has to be more production facility. Then that helps to create more jobs also. That keeps our economy growing further up. If you look at the banking system few years back, what was the situation in 2014? Most of the banks were under PCA framework. Out of 12, 11 banks, public sector banks were under the PCA framework. They were in deep losses. NPA were increasing day by day. But with our 4-hour strategy, today SBI annual profit has gone up from 11,000 crore rupees to 50,000 crore rupees annually. And our NPAs have come down, which was about 10 lakh crore rupees earlier, has come down. All the banks have turned profitable. 12 out of 12 have turned profitable. At the same time, NPA ratio has come down from 14.38% to 3.9%. Our profit has increased from 36,000 crore rupees to record 1 lakh crore rupees last year. 3 times the profit now. That is how the market cap of our public sector enterprises, the public sector banks have also gone up from 4.5 lakh to 10.47 lakh crore. That is how Modi's government has functioned, how 4-hour strategy has worked. Let me throw some light on the economic reforms, which has actually fueled the growth. We have streamlined the business approvals, removal of the archaic laws. How many archaic laws? More than 1,500 plus archaic laws have been repealed. Compliances which was 63,000 has been cut down to 23,000 only, and we are further working on that so that ease of doing business improves. Apart than that, construction permit ranking has improved from 184th position to 27th. Getting electricity improved from 137 to 22nd. Decriminalization of the laws has happened. So for your small mistakes, you do not need to go for a jail today. Mr. Jan is sitting here, is a big lawyer, but at the same time, let me tell him, our government intention was, why should people of our Bharat suffer if they do a smaller mistake? They should not go to jail. There should be ease of doing business. That is why we have decriminalized about 43 central acts and 183 provisions of the 43 central acts. So there is a ease of doing business. For the Amrit generation who is sitting here, who is the Amrit generation? We celebrated the 75th year of independence, and Prime Minister Modi said the next 25 years are of greater importance. This Amrit PD, Amrit generation has to play a large role, an important role in the nation building process and make India a developed country by 2047. And that is how he opened up the space for startups. And I'm glad to say here, the youth has shown the potential. 7 years back, we were nowhere. Today, India is the third largest startup ecosystem of the world. We have more than 120,000 startups in the country today. And we have 110 unicorns. That means one company valuation is more than 8,500 crore rupees. That is the kind of wealth created by the young people of the country. And I'm sure with the space sector being opened up, we already have more than 160 plus space startup companies in the country today. Hyderabad-based company has already launched the Vikram S, the private sector rocket. At the same time, India has launched 108 satellites at one go. And I've also talked about the Chandrayaan mission. We have opened up it for the 100% FDI. This will bring in more investment into the country. This will create more jobs. And cities like Chennai to others are going to benefit out of this. And we have seen a lot of agriculture startups. Garuda is one of the company here, very nearby. I visited them twice. Now the Namo Drone Didi, the drone is used. One of the companies, Garuda from Chennai, who have done well. And we're going to see the startups, how they are making a large impact in the agriculture sector also. When I talk about the formalization of the Indian economy, digitalization has played a very, very important role. When we used to talk about digital India, a lot of people used to raise a lot of question mark. But look at the numbers today. Look at this large screen. From the Aadhaar card, where 99% of Indians have got the Aadhaar card, their identity. Subsidy digitalization, money comes directly to your bank account through the DBTs. When you used to spend a lot of time on the toll booths, today with the FASTag, that time has come down. And the MSME digitalization, the portal is already there. If you look at the GEM portal, government e-marketplace, do you know how much revenue or how much work it created, how much business is generated on the GEM portal? More than 6,37,000 crore rupees. So a small vendor, a cottage industry, MSME can also sell to the government, central government and the state government also. Farm sector, the ENAM, E-National Agriculture Marketplace, that is there. But very interesting is Swanidhi, a street vendor. Before 2014, he didn't even have a bank account. Today, after opening a bank account, he's been given a loan, 10,000 rupees loan. If you make the digital payment, interest is waived off. And if you make the payment on time, that is increased from 10,000 to 20,000, then to 50,000. Trust me, 80 lakh people benefited out of it. And many of them who got only 10,000 rupees loan have made more than 1 lakh rupees sale annually. That is the kind of wealth they have created. So it is all about using the technology, making the credit easily available to the people, either through the Mudra Yojana or from the Stand Up Startup India programs, where the SC, ST and the women benefited out of it. We have seen more and more women entrepreneurs coming up the ladder. We have had the 4 labor laws, the code being introduced now. E-Shram has formalized the informal. We have the 93% labor force were in the informal sector, but today 290 million Indians have the E-Shram cards issued. Also, if you look at the employment EPFO registration, 64 million registration happened since 2017. So that clearly shows the formal economy is growing. There's more jobs in the formal sector also. And if you look at the GDP growth rate here, in the Q3, we had 8.4% GDP growth. That is the highest in the world today. And if you look at the India's GDP size, which is about 3.6 trillion US dollars, and expected to be 5 trillion by 2027, that clearly means in the next 3 years, India is going to be the 3rd largest economy. At the same time, reforms like GST has actually helped to collect the taxes. Today, our direct and indirect taxes collection has gone up. GST collection before the COVID-19 was mere 90,000 crore rupees per month. Today, on an average, the tax collection is more than 1,66,000 crore rupees, which is benefiting the center and the state as well. So there is more stability, there is better policies, good governance has led to these kind of situations. And if you look at the story in the charts, how India has progressed from the 12th to the 5th largest and how we're going to be the 3rd largest in the coming years. My dear friends, if you look at the Digital India Expand, I hope you recognize this man. Do you know him? I know you know him for various other deeds, a lot of. But I want to remind you for one of the statements he made in the parliament. What he said? He said, who's going to make 7 rupees payment digitally? Who will have the bank account? Where is internet connection? Where is smartphone? And let me remind Mr. Chidambaram, Congress can't even think that. And we have delivered on that. And we have delivered on that. And if you could see among the world top economies, if you look at the 200 plus countries across the world, India has the 46% share of the digital payments of the world. 46%. No country is even closer to India. And if you look at the digital space, from the digital payment like UPI to the digital entertainment like the OTTs and the digital certification of the vaccine certificate, not even the big CEOs of those multinational companies have the digital certificates, but you, me, we are the common people of the country. Everyone have the digital certification of the vaccination. At the same time, digital education is available. We have also created this new, apart than the GEM, which is the government e-marketplace, we have this open network for exchange of goods and services, which is called the ONDC, which is becoming a huge platform for a common people like me and you who can sell their products on these platforms and can make big money staying in a remote areas. That is how technology and these kind of platforms are going to help us. Digital courts, Modi government has funded thousands of crore rupees to make courts digital and more transparent and make more accountable at the same time. Delivery of the justice as soon as possible. Digital OPD service from the gig economy and the workers, which we have seen, it is growing with each passing day. As I told you earlier, on the FASTag, on the toll booth, your time taken from 734 seconds have come down to merely 47 seconds because of the technology, because of the FASTag. Apart than that, the digital land parcel, where most of the people didn't have their land certificates. Technology has given them the land certificates. We already have 1 billion plus mobile connections. We have 1 billion plus youth population. And let me tell you, we have the $1 billion economy also. But soon, we're going to host the Youth Olympics in 2030 and 2036, the Summer Olympics, so that India become one of those countries who have hosted the Olympics. I'll come to that also, the sports part later, but I couldn't stop myself when I talked about youth and the technology, because technology is playing a very, very important role in each and every sector.
Go to your village fair, buy potatoes and tomatoes and pay 7 rupees 50 paisa by a credit card. What will the poor lady do? Does she have a POS machine there? Is it connected to a electricity source? Is there Wi-Fi there? Is the internet working there? Do you know the village fair? In my part of the country, the village fair takes in turns. Monday in this village, Tuesday in the next village, Wednesday in that village. All over India. That is where you bring your produce and sell. Vegetables, fruit, baskets, toys, plastic. You bring it and sell. I think all of them should have a
I think Mr. Chidambaram has got the answer. If you look at the Gati Shakti, it is Prime Minister's vision how to create the right infrastructure in the country. More than 5-time increase in the overall expenditure. Last year it was 10 lakh crore rupees. This year it is 11,11,111 crore rupees earmarked for the capital expenditure. And if you look at the massive expansion in the metro connectivity, we are the 4th largest metro system in the world. In 2014, it was limited to 5 cities. It has gone up to 20 cities now. Earlier, it was few hundred kilometers. We already have 960 kilometers of metro rail line and 930 kilometers in the making today. And soon we're going to become the 2nd largest metro network in the world. If we look at the pace of construction of our highways, it has gone up by 2.5 times than the UPA government. Rural roads are made at 91 kilometers per day speed and the national highways at 34 kilometers per day. If I have to give you the number, in 2014, the national highways were 96,000 kilometers. Today, it is 1.5 lakh kilometers. The rural connectivity was 3,20,000 kilometers. Today it is gone up by 3,75,000 kilometers added to those rural roads. That means we have made it double in last 10 years. What Congress created in 6 years, we have done more than in 10 years. Apart than that, if you look at the gas pipeline, more than 22,000 plus kilometers gas line pipe is operational. So there's less freight required, less cartage required. I mean, earlier we used to carry it through the roads and all that. So there's more of ease of living and more of ease of doing business. Also the major ports, the capacity enhanced by 725 metric ton. Apart than that, if you look at the number of airports, in 2014 we have 74 airports. Today we have approximately 150 airports, doubled in 10 years. And if I have to give you the All India Institute of Medical Sciences number, it was 7 AIIMS in the country in 2014. Today it is 22. In 2014, we had 380 medical colleges. Today we have more than 700 medical colleges. And also the graduation seats have also gone more than double. I'll come to all those numbers in the coming slides. But look at this slide, making in India and making for the world. What does that mean? The growth rate, which was stalled, capacity, which were not increasing, because the country was struggling at that time because of the policy paralysis, because of the corruption. But coming into power, we have cut down our corporate tax to the 15% in line with the global standards. We have worked on the ease of doing business. From the 143rd position, we have come down to we have come to the 62nd position. Also for the revival of the micro, small, medium enterprises during the COVID time. If you remember clearly, we given 6 months moratorium period. Then we came out with 20% additional working capital for the MSME sector, for the traders, for the small business houses, without taking any collateral, without taking any security. Approximately 4 lakh crore rupees has been given to the MSME sector, helping them during the COVID-19 pandemic. Today, they have become the backbone of the Indian economy. They have created more jobs and helped us to grow much bigger and stronger as the economy is concerned. Revival of the cottage industry, we have seen 300% revival. If you look at the last season, during Diwali to the other festival season, Prime Minister said vocal for local, buy the local product. Could you imagine the sale happened during that time? 4 lakh crore plus sale for the local product. That is how India is progressing. And at the same time, if you look at the PLI scheme, the mobile phone which is making these videos and all that, let me say here, 6 years back, India was the second largest importer of the mobile phones. Today we are the second largest manufacturer of the mobile phone. India achieved a milestone by exporting. Export is worth $766 billion US today. Do you know who is this man who's fight? Do you recognize him? Who is this pilot? Piloting the country, taking to the new heights, isn't it? With the Make in India product of HAL, Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, Tejas aircraft, and the milestones of India. If you look at this, marine export have gone up from 55 billion, from 5.5 billion to 8.9 billion, and electronic goods have gone up from 6 billion to approximately 24 billion, 4 times in last few years. At the same time, the toys export have gone up from 96 million US dollars to 3,26,000 million US dollars. A small product like toys, also the 92% toys were imported from other countries. Today, India is in a position to export toys. That is how Atmanirbhar Bharat, Make in India has helped India to grow. 30% contribution of the MSME in the GDP growth rate, that is clearly mentioned here. Boeing and Airbus have their capacities here now. They are going ahead with the production facility. Not only we have given the world's largest order of 1,000 aircrafts, but India is proud to say we have the world's largest number of women pilots, that is from India today. Jai Jai Sri Ram. Well, during this historic ceremony, there is a government in the country, only one state, who refused to do the live telecast for people to attend this function at the temples. And the Ram Bhakt went to the court to get the order and attend the function. There are people in the same state, a minister, who want to wipe out the Sanatana Dharma, who are speaking ill against Rama, who are speaking ill against Hindus, who are leaving no stone to abuse the Hindu gods, Hindi and the Sanatan Dharma. Why so? Have you ever imagined any country in the world where the majority has to wait for more than 500 years to build their own temple? Fight court cases for more than 150 years. But we waited for that time, waited for the Supreme Court order, But after that, we have not waited for long, but took only 24 months, 2 years to complete the Ram temple. And if you look at it from Somnath to Kashi Vishwanath to Kedarnath to Mahakal Lok and Ram temple, all have been, standing tall. Its glory. They have been renovated, infrastructure has been improved. But at the same time, if you look at the right side, rejuvenating India's forgotten glory, 344 stolen artifacts are brought back since 2014. World's largest maritime museum have come up in Lothal. And global leaders have visited many such places in the last so many years. If you look at this, earlier we used to talk about world's highest statue in New York, but today we can proudly say world's tallest statue is in India. At the same time, you can also say world's tallest bridge or the longest bridge at the Chenab River, world's longest tunnel, the Atal Tunnel, to so many. What we hear for other countries, the longest, tallest and the highest, today we can proudly say those are happening in India during the Modi's regime. That is how we transform the country. We have come out of this mindset of the colonial mindset, changed the Rajpath to the Kartavya Path. We have taken away the King George V statue and installed Netaji Subhash Chandra statue at the India Gate, Delhi. In just 2 years span, we have made the Bharat Mandapam, we have made the Yasho Bhumi in Delhi, also the new Parliament House, but the Parliament House ceremony was incomplete without Tamil Nadu and the Sangol of Tamil Nadu. And if you look at on your right, remembering Baba Sahib Ambedkar, from his Janam Bhumi to Diksha Bhumi to his Chaitya Bhumi, all these 5 important places have been converted into museum and memorial. Well, no function is complete without the involvement of women, the kind of respect Prime Minister gives to the women, especially he comes from such a humble background. Well, many people are talking about Shakti, but I won't talk about the political issues here. I'm just talking about what we have done for the women in the last few years. Women-led development, we have given the 33% reservation to the women, which were not fulfilled by many other political parties, but Prime Minister Modi did that for the Vidhan Sabha and the Lok Sabha also. That means for the legislature and as well as for the parliament. More than 3 crore houses have been given to the women, 31 crore mudra loans given to the women, 311 ITI set up exclusively for women. Also, India ranked top in the gender equality with 12.4% of the world's total women pilots. We have increased the paid maternity leave from 12 weeks to 26 weeks, highest in the world. I mean, no other country could do so. And if you look at the mortality rate, which has come down from 130 to 97, we are continuously working on that. And more than 10,000 plus women are working in our defense forces. If you have noticed in the recent Republic Day parade, it is the women who led the Republic Day parade this year. That is how women are leading us in every sector. Honesty in governance, I already talked about the JAM Trinity and the GEM portal and fight against corruption. We have made the recruitment policy very simple and clear for the category B and C. You need not go for the interviews, you will be selected on merit. Also, you don't need to go for the notary attestation, you can self-attest your certificates. That is how we brought ease to the life and how we brought the transparency into the recruitment area. Fugitive Economic Offenders Bill, people who have taken money during the UPA time and fled the country, we have passed this law to get hold of them. If you look at Khelo India, today, boarding, lodging, training, everything has been taken care by the Modi government. The budget has been increased 3 times. Many verticals of Khelo India, from youth games, university games, para games to the winter games. More than 18,000 players participate in that every year, and many of them have won the medals at the Asian Games and at the Olympics as well. That is how Khelo India has become the platform for the youth. Our budget has been increased to 3 times. There are more than 285 athletes who are selected under the top scheme, and there are more than 32,000 plus youth participated here. I can go on, but let me tell you, we are all set to win the record medals in the upcoming Olympics in the Paris Games. Shashakt Bharat, securing India. It's very, very important to secure your borders. At the same time, it is very important to get free from the nationalism, from the terrorism. And there is a reduction in the violence with the left-wing extremist areas. It has come down to it is declined by 76%. At the same time, we have abrogated the Article 370 and 35A that has brought down 70% in the terrorism rate. Also the 81% reduction in the civilian deaths and 48% decline in the death of the security forces. By bringing one change, abrogating the Article 370 and 35A, how the things have changed. There are many such peace alliances happened in the Northeast, and also the defense expenditure has been doubled from 3.17 lakh crore to 6.23 lakh crore rupees from 2014 to 2023. More than 11 peace accord, as rightly mentioned here, has happened, and also the border infrastructure has been developed in more than 6,800 kilometers. There are many new airports, many new roads, many new tunnels have been built, and many border areas are connected with the railway line as well.
What it is that we are tracking, at least 4 people have been killed, over a dozen have been injured in serial blasts that hit civil courts in Varanasi, Faizabad and Lucknow today. While 4 people were killed in the Faizabad blast, several people were injured in the Varanasi blasts, and based on the pictures that we see over here, there is every possibility of there having been people who lost their lives in Varanasi.
एक हफ्ता बीत गया है, जी हाँ, वो बुधवार की ही तारीख थी, तारीख 13 जुलाई, जब 13 धमाके से पूरी मुंबई हिल गई थी। 6:54 हो रहे थे जब ओपेरा हाउस के डायमंड मार्केट में पहला धमाका हुआ था। अगले मिनट में यानी 6:55 पर जवेरी बाजार की खाऊ गली भी धमाकों से दहल गई। 11 मिनट बाद शाम 7:06 पे तीसरा धमाका हुआ। इस बार निशाना था दादर कबूतर खाना। इन धमाकों में 20 लोगों की जान चली गई, 128 लोग अब भी अस्पतालों में हैं।
49 people have now died in one of the worst serial blasts in the country in recent times. 16 blasts shattered the peace of Gujarat's capital last evening, and the true horrors are only just emerging as dozens of families try to come to terms with their loss and their pain. Today, investigators came across another live bomb, one that would cause even more devastation.
In the aftermath of the Mumbai attack, India's largest city struggles to make sense of its latest tragedy, likened by many as India's 9/11.
One of the most dramatic battles during the siege took place here at the Taj Hotel, the very symbol of Mumbai's wealth and success. Now, while the battle for the Taj is clearly over, for Mumbai and the rest of India, another struggle begins.
This attack has exposed the fault lines of Indian security as nothing ever has in the past. We as a nation stand naked.
Thousands were returning home after work, hundreds were at the spot. Some at the eatery, some waiting for a bus when the blast struck at 7:01, killing 11 people, injuring over 70, many of them serious, battling for their lives. A few who escaped from the jaws of death recount the horror they witnessed.
This serial blast in Hyderabad, which shocked the nation, brought back the memories of the horrific 2007 blast in the city. And even as the...
I can go on with that. You can, just to showcase how insecure India was during the UPA regime, and how in the last 10 years, 1.4 billion Indians are feeling more secured under the Modi government. Our borders are secured, our cities are secured, our houses are secured, our people are secured. That is how a strong leader works. And if anyone tries to play with our security, we know how to revert, how to fight back. And surgical strike, which we did, was an example to the world that we can strike back, we can strike entering your territory into those terrorist households. And I'm sure if you look at this slide, you must be feeling proud. These people, these young citizens of India are holding the Tiranga, our tricolor. Can you guess where are they from? Where are they coming back from? Ukraine. Yes, Operation Ganga. 27,000 Indians were stuck in Ukraine. It was Modi's leadership who got them back home without even a single scratch, not even a single scratch. Modi did it in Libya, he did it in Syria, he did it in Nepal, he did it in Afghanistan, he did it in Ukraine. Anywhere in the world, if Indian is in crisis, Modi is there to save you. Prime Minister Modi's leadership has saved you. And that is how is the redefining world order. Here is the leadership where the world listened to him. And even today, Ukraine and Russia invited Prime Minister Modi post-election, you please come to, and we can ready to have talks. That is the kind of faith they have that India is going to re-elect Prime Minister Modi for his third term. When we talk about India's decade, if you look at this, successfully hosting G20 events, especially the Delhi Declaration, and also the Global Biofuel Alliance, and many such alliances at the same time, the economic corridor from India to UAE to the European Union is going to be there for the next 1,000 years, bringing in more prosperity to our country, more growth to our country, more jobs and more funding into the country. At the same time, with the 2.2 billion vaccines administered, no other country could do it, India did so. Vaccine Maitri, we have supplied the vaccine to 157 countries. Ukraine war to others have already mentioned, Chandrayaan mission, a global first. And if I have to talk about India's decade, Prime Minister Modi became the only Indian PM to address the US Congress twice. And in that address, you well remember how many times everyone stood up, standing ovation happened and applauded by everyone. So from yoga to millets, yoga, Ayurveda to millets, this is the Modi's gift to the world. This is the India's gift to the world. And there's a lot of FTA. If you look at the VIKSIT Bharat to VIKSIT Tamil Nadu, let me put some emphasis on the first thing. The tax devolution increased 204% in last 10 years to the Tamil Nadu. That is from the central government, that means more than double money has come to the state of Tamil Nadu. Defense industrial corridor has been given to Tamil Nadu, making it a defense manufacturing hub also. PM Mitra, the mega textile park, has been given to Viruddhanagar, also promoting various other such things. 11 new government medical colleges are being opened, inaugurated before 2022. And 6 Vande Bharat trains are operationalized. More than 3,536 kilometers of national highways constructed, and investment in highways went from 1,200 crore rupees to 8,200 crore rupees. That is 6-fold. So also foundation stone is laid for the India's second space port. That is also in Tamil Nadu. So one after another. So this is INS Vikrant, this is Make in India. Now let me take you a decade back. Look at the headlines in 2014. Look at that. GDP growth at 4.7%, India's worst slowdown in 25 years. That was the headline at that time. And today the headline is India to remain the fastest growing major economy in 2024. In 2014, under Sonia Gandhi and Manmohan Singh, India's economic growth disappointed, and today, Indian economy beats expectation with 8.4% growth. In 2014, we were at a sluggish growth rate, which was 20 years low at 1.1% the industrial growth rate. And today the PLI scheme is beginning to make India a manufacturing powerhouse. Look at the bank performance. NPA surged 50% in 2013, whereas bank NPAs to improve to a decadal low of 3.8% by 2024. That is the big difference. That's the big picture, if you could see. In 2014, rupee was among the worst performing currencies, and today rupee remains best ever performer against global market currencies. If you look at the index, then and now, global innovation from 66, we have gone up to 40. World Competitive Index, 60 to 37th. Intellectual property is also the global unicorn. We were nowhere. Today we have about 3rd position. Renewable energy from 8th to 3rd. Global manufacturing from 4th to 2nd. Ease of doing business from 142nd position to 63rd position. And global retail from 14th to 2nd position. I can give you so many examples, so many numbers, but all I want to say here is India is progressing under the able leadership of Prime Minister Modi. This picture is throwing light what we are achieving, what are the growth indicators, which city is doing what. And look at the glimpse of VIKSIT Bharat. World's largest financial inclusion, 51 crore bank accounts to others. I'll share this presentation with you. Please spend some time on it. And as a VIKSIT Bharat ambassador, when you have gathered here, your responsibility is to make short videos of yours or maybe messages and share it on your WhatsApp group, on your Instagram, on your Facebook, on your other social media platforms. Speak to more and more people. Inform the world, inform the other fellow Indians how India is growing, how Bharat is growing. And that is how a VIKSIT Bharat ambassador can play a very, very important role in creating more awareness among the masses. And I'm sure you are ready to play that part of yours. And I'm here to end this presentation of mine. Thank you for listening to me very patiently. Thank you. Jai Hind, Vanakkam.
Thank you so much, sir, for comprehensively tracing the journey from Fragile 5 to Bright 5. If I may request Vinodji to please felicitate our chief guest.
फोटो में
Kritika.